Stock tip. Best stock setups.
I'm Untitled, and this is another episode of Stock Tip Daily Update. We had an interesting day today. After some ups and downs, we managed to finish with almost 1% in minus, and that's a good thing because we are aiming for the 4,000 mark in the S&P 500. So respectively, we're aiming for this mark here, and we are not that far away from this mark. We are just 4% away, so just 4% to go, and we've reached our market. So what was I talking about with ups and downs? You see this here. So we've opened, we were constant with our negative movement, and then we had a nice powerful move up. Let's go back to the SPY. So we had a nice powerful move up with also a reversal, back down again, back up again, and lastly we managed to end the day on a negative note. And I think post-market it also looked pretty negative, so I'm happy with that, but lately the post-market movements don't reflect anything, so let's just leave it at this and be done with it. So the markets are still moving in our desired direction, so only 4% to go until we reach 4,000, and then I can liquidate option set. Then I can breathe a little easily and see if we can get a little further down the road. The same can be said of the Nasdaq. As you may have guessed by now, the Nasdaq pretty much goes in tandem with the S&P 500, and also the IVM also tried to break out, but failed and finished the day with a shooting star. So I think we have one more day ahead of us. Hopefully we reach our target here also in the SPY or S&P 500, and after that perhaps the journey south is going to come to an end. Why do I think that the journey is going to come to an end, or might come to an end? Because of the already very negative movements we've had in the major titles. So Apple, for once, has almost reached this support line here. This would be the 200 mark, and if you go a little further down, then we might just reach 149, 150 before we turn up again. So it's just a possibility. You also see here this coincides with the 50 moving average, so we are one step away from a very important support line here, and I think sooner than later we are going to reach. Then perhaps the markets are going to turn around. You can also see this in Amazon. Amazon here, we've tested this marker today and managed to finish the day with a small upside reversal. We were actually in plus here, only to come back to this major support line. The weekly chart also looks pretty similar to the one in Apple, so we need perhaps 1 or 2 more days, and then we've reached the 200 moving average in the weekly chart. So also kind of end of the journey or start of a new one. If it's going to bounce back up, then it's the end of the journey. If it's going to continue falling, then it's the start of a new one. Perhaps then this would make for a terrible correction that is going to hit the market. But I think most probable that the markets are going to turn around again. Let's take a look at another big title. This would be NVIDIA Corporation. The weekly, so we still have a way to go until we reach the 200 moving average here in the weekly chart, but you get my point. So we've pretty much corrected in all of these ones, in all of these major titles. So I think our correction in the markets might come to an end pretty soon. What did the German markets do? Let's take a look. The DAX with daily chart. The DAX a neutral day. We finished with a doji, but given that the American markets Leslie finished in minus, I think we're going to open with a gap down tomorrow and continue from there. And when American markets open in the last trading hours of the DAX, then the DAX is going to pretty much adjust itself to the general movements of the markets. Also, Euro to US dollar also tried to correct a bit, tried to slow this fall, and almost managed. Oh, damn! I must do it a little sooner. It's pretty late. Oil also has finished the day with a dodge here, with a huge amount of volume. So it just might be that the first move up is done, and that we see a small correction here. But on the other hand, I've read that the Americans are trying to impose an embargo on oil imports from Russia, so the price might still go up depending on this geopolitical developments out there. Gold actually managed to continue moving up today, and we are very parabolic now. So take a look at this in this big picture. So we are parabolic now, and we've actually hit our target, hit our first target. Our first target was the previous high, and we've managed to hit it today. We've closed a little, we've retracted a bit, but overall huge volume, and we've finished almost at the top. This might be the last move before we get a nice correction here, but overall I'm very happy with the movement in gold, and I think I'm going to remain invested. I didn't take any profits today, and I think I will allow this position to continue moving. I don't intend on doing anything too wild the next few days. Silver also had a nice day, not that nice, but still a nice day, a gap up with a huge volume, and Leslie did manage to defend it. It didn't finish quite as well as gold did, but that's silver for you. Another nice sector today was the solar sector I've been talking about yesterday also. So the solar sector managed to break out or confirm this breakout right here with a huge volume. And I must say I've had a big chunk of it, but we'll get to that soon. Actually, we can get to it now, right now. I was talking about Sunworks. So I've told you yesterday at about 3.14, yes, that late, 3.14, I've bought some shares in Sunworks, or Sunworks, yes, in Sunworks. And not only, I actually bought a lot, so I went a little bit against my rules, and I've bought a bigger stake than I normally do. So this is where I've bought them at this breakout here with a stop here. So a little more than I normally would, and I managed to. I was happy to see that Sunworks actually opened with a huge gap today. And not only that, it continued to go up. And let's take a look at the 5-minute chart. This is where I took my first profits. So it opened with a huge gap up. I think I've taken my first profits at 3.73 or 74. It was there. I've taken a third of the profits. Then next big chunk of the profits I've taken at the top, actually. Where did I take them? I think at 4.92. Where is that? Let's see where that is. So 4 point higher. So then here, 4.92. This is where I've taken the biggest chunk of the bulk, and then the position the last third of the initial position got closed here. So I was very, very happy with this. I actually made you laugh. I actually made 5% on my initial portfolio doing this. So in one day, one trade, one day, I actually earned 5% doing this, and this would mean this would make for approximately 1,000 euros just in one day with one trade. So this was a hell of a trade. It went very well, and what more do you want? One idea would have been to remain invested, but honestly, we've already reached 121% in 2 days, and if you take this one into account, then we've reached almost 200% in 1 week or so. We also reached 200 moving average, and I think this is enough for now. We don't want to lose 5% of our portfolio now on absolutely nothing, so it's not worth it. From this point on, it's a gamble. I would have rebought some part of it, but if you take a look at the 15-minute chart or a 30-minute chart, there was no re-entry. I would have perhaps re-entered here had we had a nice bounce back, but it was not the case. And so I've parted with this, but we can add it to the next watch list here. Then I did get another pretty huge chunk, or another big chunk, and again part of the solar sector. This was plug. So now you see why we've had this nice consolidation here, this nice setup with the breakout, the pullback, and today a very convincing breakout. So very, very convincing breakout. You take a look at the size of the volume, you take a look at the candle, then you would say, but is the risk not a bit too high? It would be, but I've placed my my stop intraday, so my stop is actually somewhere here, so 24.85 or something like that. So overall, very, very good day for trading. SHIB didn't quite develop. SHIB pretty much perhaps lost 0.02 or 0.03%, 0.03 dollars, so 3 cents. No biggie. So it's pretty much where it was. So absolutely no biggie. Amazon pretty much would have touched its target today, and with that I would have closed the position. I'm curious what will happen to Amazon the next few days, but this is all. And then I just have to see my my options going through, and until then I still pretty much remain on the side bench. One order I did activate, and this was it this one? Let's see. No, it was, where is it? Zynga. It was Zynga. So it was Zynga, and this is the order that I activated. It was a very nice. It is a very nice setup, but it pretty much waits since mid-January, waits for something to happen. So overall, a very nice setup. If it manages to break out, then we still have some time left until I think May. So if it breaks out, then slowly could make something out of it. And the risk is also very small, and I'm curious how it will develop. So my stop buy is at 9.35, I think 9.35, with a stop loss at 8.9. This is it. Okay guys, so this is all for the first parts of our videos. I would like to, like always, I would like to remind you there is some cool stuff you can find on our website stocktip.com, particularly under the scans right, or name it how you want, the scans button, and there are also some pretty nice trading ideas for the future under setup of the week. Also, the scans list is going to be updated regularly, and you can see here on my watch list we are speaking about how many are we speaking. We are talking about it doesn't show, about 164 items on our scan list. So many trading opportunities and trading ideas. You just have to make them your own. Okay, if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and join me again tomorrow for next daily update. Now, to continue with the part 3 of our video, this is the setups.